Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
I've got on the telephone line, he's a busy man today, is our Michael Scott from the council and also, of course, our Waikanae ward councillor. We had a meeting on Tuesday night and Michael's down in the council chambers this morning, just phoning in. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Michael. Hello.
Good morning, Nigel.
Yeah, that's okay. Good as gold. You're a busy boy this morning.
Morning, Nigel.
Yep, you're a busy boy this morning.
So we've had already a really interesting briefing this morning from the NZTA and Fletcher's team doing the Peka Peka to Otaki work, giving us some details about the bridging work and the staging work. Tiwari Kākik also fascinatingly came in to talk about some of Wahitapu sites and the interesting artefacts and that has already been found during the process. So really interesting and positive to get to know the time frames, because of that, of course, impacts to the north of Waikanae and on our Peka Peka residents as the roads get joined together.
Any thoughts on the development of the Peka Peka interchange or whatever they were going to do there?
So no discussion about that at all. That's still something to be determined from what I can see. But there is major work that we've seen just north of Peka Peka and all the way through to Merrycrest. The bridging work will begin there shortly, and of course just north of Otaki, as you go up over that rise above the railway line, you can see the new bridging work being put in there. So huge amounts of development happening actually quite quickly.
Yes. Now, at our meeting on Tuesday night, there's very small attendance. I don't know whether people realised it was on or whether it was the earlier start, although nobody turned up after 7:30, so I don't think that was the cause of it. But the Waikanae Surfing Club and the Boating Club were in full force wanting to get their extension on the right of your renewal for the lease of the property.
Yes, absolutely. I just had a group of school children walk past. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
They're off to the aquatic centre. And look, I'm meeting with Mr. Peterson today. He's the group manager who will principally be responsible for that work. I've also got discussions in train today with two other group managers on that issue. It's an exciting opportunity for the development down at Waikanae Beach. Importantly, it's going to be worked in terms of a partnership, and that's the way council's going to have to work in the future, a lot smarter in terms of partnership development with local entities.
Do you think they'll be able to get the lease extended to 30 years as they're pushing for?
So look, we'll have a discussion about that. Council's been putting 10-year leases with several rights of renewal in place, but I've already had that discussion with Mr. Peterson yesterday after the meeting, that we need to be able to be sensitive to the fact that if the boating club's going to fund this, they're going to borrow for that purpose. They need enough certainty. There's nothing set in stone about the terms of our leases, and I'm pretty certain that elected members will see the value in the work that the boating club want to do and come up with a lease option that suits the boating club. It's not much point in giving them a lease that doesn't allow them to do what they want. That would be fundamentally silly. Yes,
and of course it affects the Coast Guard too, doesn't it? And also the Waikanae Surf Life Saving Club. Now that's a huge membership, so there's quite a big development down there.
Yeah, so look, the Surf Lifesaving Club, it's a new club which is developing rapidly. The boating club's got a closed membership of 600 because there's just no room for anyone else. And of course, our Coast Guard obligations don't just help Waikanae people. They work within that marine area off our coast where if tragedies occur, you need good quality equipment. I'm absolutely committed to making sure that this works if we can get it over the line. It's about maximising the site that they already in fact have a lease for. Currently there's a toilet block of councils and some council seats, so realistically what they're asking to do is be able to extend their building to cover a site that they already pay a lease fee on. So that seems pretty reasonable to me. The big issue is moving the toilets and funding that, but all the rest is going to be funded by the boating club.
Would it have to go through a resource consent again, Michael?
We'll certainly have to notify all of local residents So local residents will have a say because there'll be some changes made, and that'll be about getting to yes with those residents. It'll be about ensuring that they understand that the height of the building won't be changing, and whilst the footprint will, it will actually improve what's there. It's a bit of a hodgepodge of a building because it's been developed and built over time. It would be really good if we could get it into one format and tidy it up. So look, I think that so long as we're absolutely upfront and clear with local residents that we're not in any way going to change their amenity, and indeed we might well improve it, then I think we should be able to get this over the line.
Well, the board put forward a resolution to KCDT to support the club's renewal of the lease. So when will that come up at a meeting?
So that approval will be noted at the next full council meeting in about 4 weeks' time as an agenda item. All of the decisions and recommendations from community boards and from committees are reported back to council on a 6-weekly cycle of council meetings. But as you can tell from the discussions I'm already having, we're well and truly involved in trying to advance this process and get staff on board. What's interesting is staff are already quite excited about the option, and the part they like the best, of course, is the fact that this is an organisation that wants to help itself and not simply saying, come on council, you find us a chunk of money. They're actually saying, look, we'll find most of the money ourselves, just help us get this over the line. And that's an exciting partnership development which is going to be the future of development in Kapiti.
So I'm just thinking, with the coastal regulations now, where you can build and where you can't build, if they rebuild, does that affect them at all? Because they're right on the coast, and when you think of that last big tide of washed up almost to the top of the bank.
Yeah, those are all issues that we're going to have to consider, and one of the things is their current placement and its safety and how we future-proof it. And of course, government's doing a lot of work in that area at the moment. KCDC said, well, look, we don't want to do this work ourselves. We want to see the government's view, and then we'll piggyback on that. Part of that is a coastal management and development group so that we can look at the options and have all of the interested parties involved. But I don't see that stopping an existing use, and I don't see that stopping an existing program, which has been, that boating club's been there since the land was effectively gifted to it by the old park owner.
All right, that was a good presentation too, I must admit, by Bob Tate, the Commodore of the club. Now, getting on to another important action is today's meeting at your council is the parking on the old State Highway 1 out front of the shops there. Now, what's the decision going to be on this one, Michael?
So council staff have recommended option 1, which is they retain the parallel parking and put a cycleway between the parking and the traffic. My own view is that's just lunacy. It will result in injuries, if not a fatality, pretty soon after it's put in place. The worst thing you possibly do is mix cars and cyclists. They've done it in Wellington, and it's been a disaster. In the local news this morning, there's the issues in relation to Takapuna and the board there saying don't do this, and council simply overriding them. What's my sense today? I'm going to be interested to see the debate before I make a final decision. It looks like the cycling lobby has the numbers to get option A over the line. That's potentially disappointing, I think, because it fundamentally fails to appreciate the community view and, more importantly, the business view, who simply feel that this consultation's been not working right from the very start.
So you're going, well, the board, and I don't think you're able to talk about it too much because you're on the council, but they want to go for angle parking.
So the community board passed a resolution on Tuesday night indicating that they preferred angle parking to maximise the number of parks that are available. I didn't take part in that as a councillor because that would have precluded me from being able to be involved in today's debate and discussion.
Yep. And the other interesting presentation was the town centre upgrade. Now, that's about to start a little bit of development down there in the Freighter Lane area.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to do a huge amount of tidy-up work, effectively from that eastern end of the Marae Lane car park there, all the way through until the Regional Council car park. We're going to have a raised platform there and replant it. We're going to have some shrubs and some beautification there, but also we're going to try and make the area a bit safer. It's the link between the town centre and the marae, and that's the first stage. The second stage, beginning with some consultation in July, August, we'll see us do some work inside Mahara Place itself. So all of a sudden, some of these discussions and things are starting to come to fruition. You know, the things that have worked the best, Nigel, have been the things that cost the least. So we've got another piece of grass coming in, the artificial grass, coming into the mall. We've got some more seats and the like coming in. Those simple, low-cost items have just changed the way people are using Mahara Place. It's actually wonderful to see.
Yes, it was a great storytelling time the other day for kids sitting out there on the lawn too, by the way. Now,
yes,
when does this...
School kids are using it regularly indeed. We've now got the Rolls-Royce problem of not enough space.
Yeah, that's right. When will this work start on the Freighter Lane area?
Within the next couple of months.
Right.
And it'll be sort of a 3-month build at most. We hope it will be completed before June, but a June end date is what we're looking for. The work will start in April.
And the board pushed that the plants be supplied by our local nurseryman.
Yes, I proposed a motion directing council to purchase the plants from Gus Evans Nursery. This is lunacy that we propose to buy them from an Auckland supplier. The answer is we've got a perfectly good supplier in Waikanae of plants, which are hardened off and grown in Waikanae. It simply makes no sense to do other than purchase them in a competitive way for a competitive price from the local supplier who spends so much time and effort supporting our local community.
He does indeed. Just before you go, and I must let you go, any rubbish been dumped off at the council chambers this morning?
No, although I haven't seen the standard of council debate yet, so anything's possible later in the morning. No, look...
No, this was the plastic bag issue, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, the plastic bag issue. First and foremost, council used to be involved with rubbish. We used to collect it ourselves. We used to print the bags and do that. The simple answer was, when we were looking at bags costing $8 and $9 and having to subsidise the collection from rates, we got out of a process that we couldn't economically do. So we licensed 5 or 6 different operators to make sure they're at a high standard. One of them has stepped out of the plastic bags for safety reasons. Across the country, 2 workers have been crushed and killed putting these bags into the backs of trucks. It's fundamentally dangerous, and therefore the supplier's stopping doing it. Unfortunately, council yet again gets caught in the crossfire of saying, well, this is not fair. Well, we didn't do it. We're trying to do our level best to talk with the operators to give us different collection options for small bins. You know, we've already got Lucy's bins, for example, who will pick up your bin from your back door and empty it and put it back there if you're aged or infirm or can't do it. But it's just a great beat up.
Right. Michael, thanks very much for your valuable time. Have a good meeting today.
Nigel, it's always good to be on Beach FM.
106.3 Beach FM.